Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this time it's gonna be a video about a beginner army for Warriors of the Dark Gods. I found quite a decent deal on the internet somewhere for this army, and I think it's quite a nifty army to put together. Just to also learn the game a bit and see what you can do with Warriors of the Dark Gods. And in addition, the models that you will be buying for this army will also still help you in the future with further expanding your Warriors of the Dark Gods collection. So first of all, the window that I have open on my internet browser is New Recruit. New Recruit is a builder for army lists for 9th Age, amongst other stuff. I don't know if they do other stuff, but for 9th Age and for other systems maybe. So normally it looks a bit like this. I'll just unzoom it a bit. You can create a new list with any of the factions that are in the game, and then you can very easily just configure the units with all the different options. You will, and there's always very quickly some updates if anything is wrong. So you can just select the options that you want quite easily and then build your list like that. It also has some functions in it to make sure that you don't screw up, basically. Like if your army is over budget, then it will indicate, for example, that it is over budget, and if you have some other counters, then it will also indicate where you go wrong. Now the list itself, so for this video I put together a list with a Chosen Lord as a general, because that is quite an iconic choice for Warriors of the Dark Gods. We're playing him Sloth, so that as a beginner you don't have to get that many models basically in order to fully flesh out your army, because Sloth is the most expensive favor. You will get to learn about favors very quickly if you start to play Warriors of the Dark Gods. Then we have a wizard for some magic support. We have a wizard adept with 2 extra spells in the form of the magical heirloom and the rod of battle. We have warriors, they also have sloth, so the lord can join them, with a very unique Warriors of the Dark Gods banner. This is going to be your main combat brick that can basically tank nearly everything in the game at 3000 points. We have Fallen, which is just a mobile unit for your sorcerer. 2 scoring units of Chosen with Pride. Chosen with Pride, I think, are a very valuable addition to any list, but not a lot of people play them because they don't really seem to appeal to people. But still, 6 Chosen, putting out 18 strength 4 attacks at offensive 6 is quite decent. Then you have a Marauding Giant for some gigantic action in the list, and you have 3 for Swan, because the offer that I found came with 3 large infantry models. You can switch around the army a bit. You can improve the sorcerer or make it more expensive to a wizard master if you want. You can kit out the Chosen Lord in a different way, but mostly it's going to be an infantry focused force with some support options. So the set that I chose for this is the Conquest 2-player starter set of Nords versus the city-states. So this one checks in at $180. It's a little bit over, maybe. I can see in euros quickly maybe what it is. So this one should be in euros, well, 197 euros. So apparently it doesn't really translate anymore, that dollars used to be cheaper than euros. But you will get in the set these amazing models. So I think they are very cool looking. It's a bit of a mix of different factions. It's also because of the color scheme. I think you can get away with painting them just in one color scheme and then making it one army instead of 2 separate ones. So what do you have here? Well, you obviously have some heroes. You have a hero that can serve as your Chosen Lord, or you have the hero of the other faction included in the box. Here, this one. He can also be your Chosen Lord, and then the other one can basically be your wizard. Then you have 2 factions to choose from for your warriors. Basically, you can either have these awesome dudes together with the phalanx guys without shields, or you can choose to, just skipping through the minotaurs, to go for the more barbarian style guys as your warriors. These guys have quite tanky shields as well, so I think they both fit as warriors, and they also both fit as chosen. And then you can choose whichever sub group you want as your fallen and chosen options. So for me personally, what I would do, I think, in the entire set is take the right section as your warriors, because these guys are a bit more uniform. I would take the guys here with the big shields as your chosen, and then I would take the skirmish guys as your fallen. So the skirmish guys, they actually, you can see that they have bows, that they come with bows. Probably you can exchange these in some way, or you can just take them as bows, paint them up as bows, and just play them as fallen. There's no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah, and then you have a big giant actually. This is quite a monstrous model, I believe. If you look at the picture from the entire army, it's quite a decent model. So I made it, I don't know if I made it a, yeah, I did make it a big Rotter giant as well. This basically depends on your preference, if you want it on a big base or a smaller base. But the model seemed like it needed a bigger base. And then obviously the last bit of the kit is going to be the Minotaurs. You can either field them with shields, or you can equip them with great weapons as they did here. Basically it's up to you, whichever you find more cool looking. In Warriors of the Dark Gods there's plenty of options to field models like this, either on a 40mm base as Forsworn, or maybe even as Wretched ones. You can also go for a 50x75mm base, and then you could play them as Chosen Knights or as Feldrogs. Or if you want to, probably you can also play them on a 50x100 base, and then they could be very small Forsaken ones, even though they might be a bit too small for that. Anyways, I think this is a set that brings a lot of value for the contents that it has, because these models, they also look amazing, I think. And if I were starting out, I would be quite tempted by this. You just have to get over the fact that, well, basically there's two different factions included in the box, but if you paint them up just in one uniform paint scheme, or even you don't, I think you can just pull it off to put them together on the table. Then, as with the other videos I did so far about beginner armies, let's have a look in Warhall. So Warhall is a software that you can use to play 9th Age games online. It is free in principle. There's a lot of added options that you can pay for if you want. But in principle you can just go online, create an account and play for free. And then you can create your army, like this Warriors of the Dark Gods army, which is basically a representation of what we put together. And you can just test it out against live opponents. So you can basically play an entire game of 9th Age using this software. And then, yeah, this is basically the way that the army fills the table. So you have your 4 scoring units of the Chosen, the Warriors, and the Forsworn. You have your support giant as a support piece that can go around the flanks, and you have the fallen that can stay behind and basically protect your wizard from any harm that might come its way. So for later purchase you could still opt for the Forsworn to get the upgrade of Damnation, so when they die that they get replaced by Chaos Spawns or Wretched ones. But I would start just with this layout and see how you like it, and then from there this is basically a good basis to go further from, because in the end with Warriors you will end up with probably 30 Warriors in your core, unless you go the Barbarian Horseman route, but then you go a completely different route. So normally you end up with Warriors in your lists anyway, so I think the best advice to give to a beginner player in 9th Age with Warriors of the Dark Gods is get a set that includes sufficient warriors, like at least 30 of them. With that I will end the video. I'll thank you for watching and see you the next time.